bringing the world to China and China to the world.
Business insights and education.
News, reviews and interviews.
Commercial, city and community. Lifestyle, culture and business.
Business to business, viewer to viewer.
Bringing the world to China and China to the world.
Urbanization is among the top priorities, one of the biggest challenges, and that means by extension also one of the biggest markets for the future.
In the urbanization market, we will have around 300 million people over the next 15-20 years moving from the countryside to the cities. China is a very important place for the future, and we think that European and Chinese links are something that should be enhanced.
Climate change and global warming is global.
The urbanization process, if you look at it worldwide, it's a natural process almost. It's just happening.
我们现在讲这个新型城镇化，我想呢很重要的一条呢是我们的工业化不能再走老路了，我们要在新型工业化的这个基础之上，在信息化的技术的支撑下，我们才能走好我们现在要求的这个新型城镇化的道路。
Probably in the future up to 90% of people in the global world will actually live in urban areas of one form or another.
We have to think about sustainability not just as a technical topic. Sustainability is first of all a social topic and economical topic.
The matter that keeps me awake at night is the sustainability of the Chinese nation, in a sense, given the ecological challenges that exist here.
I think there's lots and lots of conversations about China that are happening in Europe, but not many people know how to do business practically, how to actually make that action. Propeller can, because Propeller's already doing that.
The idea is to get green boats, low-carbon boats, as water transport for the future.
我们希望就是应该解决一个叫人的城镇化。我们的理解呢，恐怕城镇化不应该都在北上广这种叫农民工市民化，恐怕还要解决广大农民的就地就近城镇化，也就是让农民的生活方式、生产方式、就业环境得由真正实现由乡到城的转变，就过上说白了呢，就是让农民过上城里人的生活。
Ensuring an adequate and clean water supply and the food capacity that arises from that must be a serious concern to anybody looking at China into the future.
我们也希望通过呢这一次的这个博览会呢，加强沟通对接，尤其是在这个城市环境的人居环境的改善，在节水、节地、节能这些技术的合作。
Cities are something that are like organisms, so they need time to grow up, they need time to be implemented in a correct way.
Basically, it's about widening people's horizons and building this mutual understanding and preparing people to be global citizens in the 21st century. The Chinese government are recognising that to improve people's prosperity, there has to be a certain mobility of labour. And I think they're addressing that in a very measured way, which I think they have to, given the scale of things in China.
因为我们现在大家都在做城乡一体化，只有解决了城乡一体化的问题，才能真正解决中国的问题。
当然，希望政府有一些新的政策，就支持像我们这样的民营企业啊，真正的走到国外啊，有一些政策的支持，然后跟欧盟呢有一些政府间的新的促进民企投资的这些新的条款啊，能出台。 或者说有一些新能源方面领域的一个新的补贴政策。
A strong leadership is very important, so we can just follow the path and implement the grand idea.
Introduction to connections are very important for the improvement of links between areas and future business, hopefully.
In China, of course, things are happening differently. There's a different political system running, and the pace in China is much faster.
We always get many things on short notice, which is very, very different, which you have to get used to over a long time, actually.
In Europe, decisions may take a longer time, but at the same time, once decisions are made, the execution is a lot faster.
I suppose the most important thing that can come out of this weekend is people doing things together.
Sustainability is something that should promote also the socialization between people and give to people cities that are livable. They could be smart, they could be really high-tech, but they should be livable at first.
The economic development is a real need because it has a direct relationship to social stability.
I think what's interesting about China is society there is becoming quite complex with the rise of the middle class. And middle class people demand different things. They're demanding that their future for their children be better than their future. They're demanding good education, equality of opportunity, a clean environment.
There's one big advantage in China, because it's more centralized organized, you can expand it much more quickly here.
It's noticeable that in Shanghai the number of NGOs has doubled since 2002. It's now close to 10,000 NGOs, but there was about 4,500 in 2002. So that's a measure of how more complex society is becoming in China.
Much more people want to eat, much more people have power to buy food, so we have to provide food for all of them. So the development of the rural area is very, very important to have a balanced and sustainable overall development.
I think the whole world needs partners nowadays.
There is a lot of interest in this. You know, what are the Europeans doing for the cities of the future? Because we have cities of the past, but the Chinese are building the cities of the future.
Society then in China is becoming more complex. We're used to that in the West. We're used to dealing with interest groups. We're used to balancing things and trying to come up with the best solution to a problem. So I think that's one area where we can help the, let's say, local governments in our partner cities.
It's our responsibility to help address those problems here in China with learning that we have in the West.
We take the approach we've taken in Holland in order to cope with the pollution there and to cope with the urbanization and see how we can make that livable and maintain it livable and try to implement that knowledge also here in China. We can advise them and show them how we did it. They've got to do the implementation themselves on their own way.
我们确实要认真的向我们欧洲的一些城市来学习。总的来看，我们江苏的未来的城镇化应该更加注重以人为中心的城镇化，更加注重转型发展、科学发展的城镇化。
We actually produce food for 30 million right now, and we have set an objective to feed 50 million within the next 15 years. And in that way, we will be contributing to the solution of what will be a major challenge in this country.
there are huge opportunities for us to further sell our quality dairy products here in China. That's one clear opportunity which we have. We can benefit from the connections, the twinning connections which we have with Chinese provinces and cities.
If China solves these issues, the world as such will be much better off.
At the end of the day, if China doesn't solve its problems, we're all going to suffer. We all have so much invested in China.
We knew before coming here that connections, personal connections with Chinese people is the first avenue to further development in business and relations.
博览会吧，使我们这个系统和我们所做的工作能够为大家所了解。一方面就是使大家具有这种低碳生态的这种理念，然后这种理念在这个博览会上进行传播。另外一个使大家了解我们的工作。
咱们阆中的这个今后的发展目标是旅游龙头、工业支撑。我们的目标就是建设中国最具吸引力的国际的休闲旅游城市，然后以旅游为龙头，带动工业、农业、山产这个镜像的发展。
I suppose the most difficult problem we face is the physical separation.
We've seen that the road ahead is for more opening and more transparent relations. So I think that's a very good sign for the future.
We are almost the trailblazer. We can show people how it's done. We are the role model. We are going forward for other people to follow. I'm very impressed actually with the small and middle cities of China in terms of how they're representing themselves at this expo.
We've been absolutely delighted with the number of people who have come to visit us and the level of interest shown.
Barroso was there, Commissioner Oettinger, and then also President Van Rompuy was present there as well. So this shows from the European side we are serious.
I think when you have senior people understand, it does help make the connections which we need to make with China.
The biggest interest by far was just, oh, this is Europe, Europe cares, Europe comes here, you people come here, how do you like China?
I thought the highlight was I was extremely delighted that apart from the fellow designers and the client, the public really showed great enthusiasm.
Obviously it's a dialogue and that has to develop. This is the first time this event has run, therefore the next one will be better.
I really wouldn't have any complaints about how the event was organised, and I would say congratulations to the people. I hope we do as good a job back with our European colleagues in Brussels next year.
Bringing the world to China and China to the world.
Business insights and education.
News, reviews and interviews.
Commercial, city and community. Lifestyle, culture and business.
Business to business, viewer to viewer.
Bringing the world to China and China to the world.